So I went to visit this bubble car museum in Lincolnshire. It's up near Boston, and it's a really great museum. I really enjoyed my visit there. This is a Heinkel Trojan, which is they've got various examples of that particular model there. Looks like this one's got a bit of patina. It's not so shiny as the other ones. Yeah, so that's the Trojan bubble car, and that's the Trojan scooter. They made a scooter as well. This is a Berkeley, made by a company called Berkeley, who also made caravans in Bedfordshire, I believe. And this came as a three-wheeler and a four-wheeler. That's a Messerschmitt. I'll try and keep my voiceover up to date with what's on the screen. I always get behind on it. Yes, that's there's an Invacar and there's an Isetta. That was made by BMW amongst other people. Various people made that under different licenses from the original designers. It was designed by ISO Scooters, and then they sold the rights to make it to other people. So there's some various other cars there as well. That one was a Noble. This one here is a Bond mini car. Which had a Villiers engine and was introduced in 1948, and very weird things they are, very strange. And this one next to it is a Lambretta with a Bambini sidecar, which is quite typical of the time with those period colours. And speaking of period things, this museum also had some period interiors. So this is like a 1930s, I guess, or 40s hallway, and a 1940s, I don't know. What does it say? I think it's supposed to be the 1950s kitchen. So that's a 1950s kitchen, and it reminds me of kitchens I remember from my childhood. People used to go and visit in the 70s, and years and years ago had kitchens that looked much like that, even in the 70s. So various products you could buy at that time that they can't buy now. So it's nice to see all that historic stuff there. There's a Trabant. This is an estate one, made in East Germany. I think most people know about Trabants. There was a huge amount of them came through when the Berlin Wall came down, and most of them have they're sort of collector's items now. They were rubbish at the time and no one wanted them, but now they're collector's items, those cars. This is a DAF 55. This wasn't mentioned in the guidebook, so I guess this is a recent acquisition. It's made in Holland by DAF, obviously, with belt-driven transmission. This is an NSU Prinz, which is that's another NSU Prinz as well. There's two of them there, different models. Yeah, the first one, that's NSU Prinz 2, and 1958 was launched with a twin-cylinder overhead camshaft engine with Ultramax drive for the camshaft, which uses eccentric rods rather than belts or chains, apparently. That's a basic model with a crash. The Prinz one was a basic model with a crash gearbox. That's a scooter car. I've seen one of those in a car show I went to. I've seen one of those before. Really weird little thing. It's a single seater and it's quite tall as well. And this is a NSU Sport Prinz, introduced in 1959, based on the Prinz 2 floor pan, but with styling by Bertoni and a 30 horsepower engine. And then we've got a Berkeley and another Bond. This is a Berkeley, again this is a three-wheeler one, because they made some four-wheeler ones, but that's a three-wheeler with one single wheel at the back. It's quite a nice looking little car actually. And there's the NSU Sport Prinz again. Corgi made a model of that one. You can get a Corgi model of that car. Yeah, that's quite nice from the back. Bertone styling, or Bertone, however you say it. Now this is Johnny Smith's flux capacitor. It's based on an Enfield electric car, and basically he made a dragster out of it, powered by electric motors. And Johnny Smith runs the Late Break Show YouTube channel, and that's a project he had years ago. There was this scrapyard, or sort of a barn find, you know, overgrown, sort of like a typical barn find area. And there was an Isetta, and there's a Citroen 2CV, and that's a Vespa mini car there, a little Vespa at the back. Yeah, this Isetta needs a bit of restoration, but it's quite cool to see it like that in that state, not polished up, but probably is found in the barn. Then we got a caravan. It's a nutshell folding caravan, that one apparently, and had mudguards made from a baby's bath, cut into two halves apparently. Then we've got this one here, which is a Boggermobile, and in a very interesting sort of garage setting. Lots of tins and things on the shelves. I like the inflatable Goodyear airship hanging up from the ceiling. Yeah, it's a Boggermobile. H-Reg, that would make it 1969, I think. And there's the scrapyard again. Here we've got this Noble again, which apparently only came in those particular colours, in that blue and white. No other colours were available. Powered by a Sachs 197cc engine, similar to the Messerschmitt. This one here is something a bit weird. I don't know what it was. There's a Bond bug here, which everyone knows what that is. Yeah, H-Reg, big wedge of orange, 70s 70s styling. But yeah, I remember that. I had the Corgi model when I was a kid. Cool little cars. I really like one of those, actually, really, really nice. They're so unique and so different, designed by Tom Caron back in the 70s. Yeah, got a really nice little car. Quite quick as well, I think. And they all came in the orange colour. Apparently there was a special for Rose's lime juice and a special for JPS cigarettes, but the rest are all orange in that colour. And yeah, pretty cool. Yeah, it's just such a cool, iconic design, isn't it? 1970s summed up in a car. Yeah, I couldn't stop taking video of it. And this other car next to it, you can see the other orange car is an AWS Shopper, apparently. Designed by someone who I can't pronounce, in the 1970s. Built in West Berlin. Made in 1973 to 1974. And then there's a scooter car from the back. And some old period petrol pumps, which are nice to see. So a little garage set up there. Various petrol station equipment. Green Shield stamp book in the hand of this dodgy looking bloke. There's an Invacar. Everyone knows what Invacar is, because if you watch Hubnut's channel on YouTube, he's got one of these, quite famously. But yeah, this was made by AC, who also made the AC Cobra, but quite a different type of machine, designed for people who are disabled. Single seater, handlebar controls, and not many survived, so it's quite cool to see this one here. I remember these being everywhere when I was a kid. You know, in the 70s and 80s you saw them all over the place, and quite rare now though. And we've got this one here, which I believe is a Meadows Frisky, and they've got a Piccolo Trump scooter. Yeah, it's a Meadows Frisky, produced from 1957 to 1964. Three-wheeler with a Villiers engine, and there's another Messerschmitt there. And that's got the hood on it. It also came with a Perspex bubble top, Really weird sort of steering setup though. It looks like a cross between handlebars and a steering wheel. And upstairs in the museum you've got these micro cars, which are a thing in France, where you can basically drive these little miniature cars without a license, called sans permis, 3 or 4 wheeler cars. But then there's this other thing here, which is a I can't remember what it is, but it's actually a British car. It's not a French one, and it had a Suzuki engine in it, and it's a special vehicle. That was just, they made a few of them, not many of them were produced. But should have done my research, shouldn't I? Yeah, it's called a Cursor. That pink thing was called a Cursor, made in England from 1985 to 1986 with a Suzuki engine. And then we got some more sans permis, little French microcars. That one looks like Postman Pat's van, and this one looks really weird as well. This one apparently is called a Saab Flipper, I think that one is. There's a Ligier, and that's a different version of that. They just look so stupid, don't they? And this is a 1930s living room. No, it's not a 1930s living room, it's a 1940s. It might be a 1950s living room. Shows what I know about this. It's got a telly in it. I think it's supposed to be 1940s. I'm trying to look at the guidebook to find out, but it's got an old TV in it. But anyway, it's a nice old period sort of sitting room. It's very cool. I say that too much. I'm going to have to stop saying everything's really cool. It's really annoying. Anyway, thanks for watching. Cheers. Bye.